Hi, my name is Luna, and I'm 73 years old. Have you ever poured every ounce of your soul into someone, only for them to turn their back on you? Imagine working day and night, sacrificing your own dreams, just so your child can have a better life, only for that very child to discard you like a burden. That's not just betrayal, it's injustice. And this is my story. If you've ever felt the sting of being taken for granted, or dreamed of justice when someone wronged you, hit that like button, subscribe and get ready, because what you're about to hear is one of the most heart-wrenching betrayals and the most unexpected revenge you'll ever witness. When I was younger, life wasn't kind to me. My wife passed away too soon, leaving me with our only son. I remember standing at her grave, holding his tiny hand, promising her, "Don't worry, I'll raise him into a man you'd be proud of. I'll be both father and mother." From that day on, my life wasn't mine anymore. Every dawn, while others still slept, I was already at work. I stitched shoes, carried bricks, cleaned offices, anything that would bring money home. My hands grew calloused, my back bent, but I never let my son feel the hunger I felt. He wore polished shoes while I walked barefoot. He ate hot meals while I swallowed cold leftovers. I never bought myself new clothes. But every school term, he had the best uniform, the newest books. And every time I looked at him, I thought, if my son succeeds, my life will have meaning. Years rolled by. He grew tall, handsome, educated. Teachers praised his sharp mind. Neighbors pointed at him and whispered, "That boy will go far." And my chest swelled with pride. When he graduated with honors, I clapped the loudest, tears running down my cheeks. When he got his first big job, I told every relative, every friend, "That's my son." My sacrifice wasn't in vain. And he did succeed. He built a name for himself, a house, a family, a future brighter than I could ever imagine. But with each success, something else grew inside him. Distance, coldness, a wall between us. Phone calls became shorter. Visits became rarer. He began introducing me to others not as my father, but just, "This is him." At first, I told myself he was busy. Responsibilities, work, stress. But inside, a quiet fear was taking root. The day my world collapsed. Then came the day that changed everything. My health had started failing. The years of hard labor had taken their toll. My back ached, my hands shook, and some nights, breathing felt like lifting a boulder. One evening, I gathered the courage to visit him. I wasn't asking for money, not riches, just a little love, a place in his home, a chair by his table. I knocked on his door, my heart pounding. His wife opened it, surprised, almost annoyed. She called him over. When my son appeared, he looked different. Expensive clothes, a watch that could pay for 10 of my years of labor. He looked at me as if I was a stranger. I whispered, "Son, I need your help. Not much. Just a roof over my head. Someone to talk to in the evenings. A little care. That's all." He sighed. And then he said words that sliced through me like knives. "Father, I have responsibilities now. I can't take care of you. You should go live in the old age home. They'll look after you better than I can." I froze. My ears heard it, but my heart refused to accept it. The same hands that once held him when he cried, the same shoulders that carried him when he was tired, were now discarded. Neighbors peeked from their windows. Some whispered. Some just looked away. But no one spoke. I turned around and walked. My legs trembled, every step heavier than the last. The world felt colder, crueler. I reached the old age home, and there I saw people like me. Forgotten parents, abandoned like broken furniture. Their stories were the same. A lifetime of sacrifice, rewarded with loneliness. And that night, lying on a narrow bed, staring at the ceiling, I asked myself, was this my mistake? To love him too much? But fate has a way of balancing scales. You see, betrayal is not the end of the story. Sometimes, life offers you a chance for justice, a chance to remind those who wronged you of the value they once discarded. And when that chance came to me, I took it. Because even a father's wounded heart can seek revenge. At first, the old age home felt like a prison. The walls smelled of disinfectant. The beds creaked. The silence in the hallways was broken only by coughs and whispers of forgotten souls. But soon I realized I wasn't alone. There were others, men and women, who, like me, had given everything for their children, only to be left behind. We shared stories under dim lights, stories of sacrifices, of dreams, of betrayals. And though each tale was painful, together they became strength. One man, Mr. Rahim, once a teacher, told me something I never forgot. We may be old, but our dignity is not dead. Sometimes the world needs to be reminded who raised it. Those words stayed with me. They sparked a flame I thought had long died inside me. Months passed. I heard about my son through whispers in the neighborhood. His company was flourishing, yes, but so was his arrogance. He treated his workers the way he treated me, like tools. His hunger for wealth made him enemies in silence. One evening, I overheard a visitor at the home talking about him. That man's empire is built on shaky ground. He's cheating partners, underpaying workers. Just wait. One day, it'll all come crashing down. And I thought to myself, karma is patient, but it never forgets. The unexpected turn. The turn came faster than I imagined. A scandal broke out in his company. A partner accused him of fraud. Employees leaked documents showing how he exploited them. News channels picked it up like wildfire. And suddenly, the same man who once stood above the world with pride was drowning. His so-called friends abandoned him. His reputation shattered. His wealth began slipping through his fingers. And then he came to me. I was sitting in the garden of the old age home when I saw him. My son. His once polished shoes now covered in dust. His shoulders, once broad with arrogance, now slumped with defeat. Father, he whispered, his voice trembling. I need you. For a moment, time froze. These were the same lips that had once told me to live in this very home. The same eyes that had once looked at me like I was a burden. He continued, I've lost everything. My wife left. My friends are gone. The only person I have left is you. My heart wavered. This was my son, the boy whose tears I had once wiped, whose laughter had been my only joy. But then I remembered the night I left his home. The silence, the humiliation, the loneliness. I asked him, Do you remember what you told me, son? That this place could take better care of me than you ever could? His face fell. He had no answer, just silence. And in that silence, I felt the weight of every sleepless night, every sacrifice, every wound. I stood up slowly, my old bones creaking, but my voice steady. You abandoned me when I needed you. Now you stand here abandoned by the world. This is not my revenge, son. This is life teaching you the lesson you refused to learn. His eyes filled with tears. Please, Father, just one chance. I looked around at the other parents sitting nearby, listening. Each one had a story like mine. Each one had known betrayal. And then I said the words that felt like justice. Not just for me, but for all of us. I am not your refuge anymore. The old age home is your suggestion, remember? Perhaps you should find one for yourself. He broke down, right there on the gravel path. His sobs echoed in the empty courtyard. The man who once wore arrogance like a crown now lay crumbled like dust at my feet. The staff came and took him away. And for the first time in years, I felt light. Not happy, not vengeful, but free. That night, as I lay in bed, I realized something. Revenge doesn't always come in fire and fury. Sometimes it comes quietly, in the form of life balancing its scales. My son had abandoned me, but in the end it was he who was abandoned. And to those listening, remember this. Parents don't ask for riches or luxury. All they ask is for love, respect, and a little care in their old age. Don't let them feel like I did, because once they're gone, no wealth in this world can buy back their presence. Son loses everything. Father denies him the shelter he once denied his father. Justice is poetic, satisfying, and deeply emotional. If this story gave you chills, smash that like button and tell me in the comments, what's the most painful betrayal you've ever seen a parent go through? Remember, karma never forgets. Subscribe for more stories where justice, one way or another, always finds its way.